In this video, I'll show you how to install Linux on your computer. Before the actual installation part, we need to do two things. First is to download the operating system which you want to install, and two is to make a bootable USB for flashing the operating system. The operating system is downloaded as a single file called an ISO. The ISO file will be available at the official website of that distribution. For this video, I'm going to be downloading Linux Lite. Go to the website and download the 64-bit ISO, which is also called AMD64 or x64 on some websites. If you use an older 32-bit system, download that, which is also called i386 or x86. If you're not sure if your system is 32-bit or 64-bit, then look at the system information on your computer, or you can search online with your computer's model name. Once you have your ISO downloaded, we need to make a bootable USB. For this, you need an application called Etcher. Just go to the website and install it on your computer. Once installed, it will look something like this. Now plug in your USB, which should at least be 4 GB in size. Make sure you do a quick format of the USB. Once that is done, select the ISO, then select the USB and just hit flash and just wait for it to finish. Once done, power off your computer, insert the USB into the computer in which you want to install Linux. Then press the power button, then press and hold down the F12 key until you see this screen. F12 key will take you to the boot menu. The boot menu key might be different on your computer, so just do a quick search online to find out which is your boot menu key. For me, it is F12. Once you're in the boot menu, it might look something like this. The first option will be the operating system which you have currently installed on your system. And the last option will be your USB drive. It might also say EFI USB on some newer devices. Use your down arrow key to select your USB drive and then press enter. Now it will boot from the USB. Linux lets you try out the operating system before you install it to your hard drive. You will come to a screen like this. Then choose Try Operating System. Some distributions give the try option later. Once the operating system is loaded up, try it out to make sure everything is well and everything is functioning. Any changes you make now will not be saved when you restart the system. Once you're satisfied that everything is okay, click on the Install OS button. Select your language. Now select your keyboard layouts. I'm not going to download updates while installing, and make sure you install third-party software for graphics, Wi-Fi and media formats. Now we come to the most important screen. Here we have three options. If you're using Windows, your first option will be to install Linux alongside Windows. Option 2 is to erase your disk and install Linux only. And your third option is to manually partition the drive and install. For noobs, I recommend option 2, which is to erase your disk and install Linux only. For intermediate level users, you can choose option 1, which is a dual boot. If you do dual boot, make sure you have a good understanding of BIOS and legacy and UEFI and so on. The third option is only for advanced users who have a good idea about partitions, file formats, and mount points. Again, if you're a noob, you can just choose option 2, which is erase disk and install, and you don't have to know anything. So to avoid complications, I recommend you choose option 2. Then hit continue. Now select your region. Next, type your username. You have to make a root or sudo password, which you will need to enter every time you make changes to your system. You can choose to log in automatically or require password every time you turn on your computer. Now the installation will start, and it usually takes around 10 to 15 minutes. Once done, reboot the system. It will ask you to remove the USB and press enter. Now your Linux operating system is now installed on your hard disk. The Linux distribution which I was using earlier was Peppermint OS, which uses the LXDE desktop environment as its base, but it also takes parts from XFCE and Cinnamon. Hence, Peppermint uses a hybrid desktop, so to speak. Linux Lite, on the other hand, uses the XFCE desktop environment. But out of all the distributions with XFCE which I've used, Linux Lite is the lightest, giving the best performance, even better than Peppermint. But of course, Lubuntu, which has the LXQT desktop, is the best in terms of performance. Let me know which distribution you're gonna use or are using right now. I just wanted to add a quick point to the previous video. On a first installation, make sure you run the sudo apt update command first to refresh the package list before you start installing any application. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.